What's up? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships Live Talk. This is your boy M3, and we have a new guest. This guy is from the Lapeef Network, and we want to introduce to CHICAGORilla. What's up, fam?
I'm sitting up here like, hey, what's happening? I'm
Yes,
on mute. What's the word, family?
Nothing much, man. We just want to, thank you, man, on live for just like, tuning in and for allowing us, okay, to give you like this wonderful live talk. So, you know, besides that, man, like, work's been good, life's been good so far. Everything treating you all right?
And listen, I don't have no complaints. I just spent the weekend in Detroit, getting
Okay.
reacclimated to the city. I had an amazing time being a tourist in Detroit again, and really realized how much I missed the city. But then came back with a cold, man. So y'all bear with me for
Mm-hmm.
the
all good,
times
bro.
I'm here.
Hey,
Mm.
man, like it happens, man. So, but,
Yeah,
Yeah.
feel better soon.
man, it was crazy because we drove up there. Detroit like 3.5 hours from me. We drove
Hmm.
up there and on Friday, and I promise you, it was like as soon as I set foot in the city, I was like, I felt it, but it was like yeah. So it's been with me all weekend. So
Mm.
yeah. So I'm trying to sweat it out.
Man,
Yeah,
I
it's
hear
something
that.
going on in the air, man. Like it's just
Well,
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the weather changing. I don't know what's going on, but something
well,
going
that's
on.
what I thought initially, man. I get one cold a year, and I haven't had that one cold that kind of lays me flat out. I haven't had
Hmm.
it in a while, so I just figured this is my one cold a year, and ain't no big deal. We went down to if you go to Detroit River downtown in Hart Plaza, you can literally look across the river and see Windsor.
Canada.
Yep,
Hmm.
yep. So we went there, and it's when the weather is nice and then it gets nasty, right?
Mm.
So that's what I think
Mm-hmm.
part of what happened, because it definitely was nice one day, and then it was nasty the next day.
Yeah, it's that bipolar moment, man. I tell you.
And listen,
Yeah, California going through that right now. We just had like it was super nice last week. Now it's kind of like cold and rainy, and then like it's like the weather's about to break after Saturday. Like it's about to break, and then it's gonna get like really nice, like 65, 70 every day. So it's
that's
like,
crazy. It was just
yeah.
70. It was 70 here today in Chicago.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, it's weird, man. It's winning. Listen, when grandma say we living in the end times, I believe it.
I heard that.
It's
According
the
to
end
the weather,
time.
it could be. Word, I feel you.
You say,
Yeah.
baby, it's the end time, baby. I believe you, grandma. You right. So,
Man.
Right.
all right, but look, just really quick for your audience that may not know me, let me introduce myself. I am CHICAGORilla. Sorry, South Side of Chicago, Wild Hunters, born and raised. I'm a custodial engineer at the Peef Network. I sweep hair. I take out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Mop. I all the things that traditional custodial engineers do, man. In your high schools, I'm the dude in the high school with the khaki suit, with the Dickie suit on. You know, telling
Okay, the Dickies.
telling you youngsters, to get your act together. So I'm just over here to have conversation, man, and put some paint where it ain't. That's it.
Mm.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I dig that. Man,
Oh,
look, he already jumped into the number one
already?
already.
Oh,
I like that. You're
my
like,
bad.
man, look, I'm gonna get this interview to the point, right?
No,
Straight up.
sorry.
That's
No,
nah, you good.
that's crazy.
nah,
I did not know it was coming.
nah. I like how that kind of transition though. So, nah,
What?
you good, bro. Um, real quick, let me shout outs to like the people like who are in the chat tuning in. Real talk with Mimsy Lim says, "Bada bang that like button, y'all." Yes, yeah, we want definitely bada bang that like button. So get the likes up as always. And then him versus her solutions, Mr. AR. Thank you for tuning in. And I
Shout
know
out to
everybody was
MZ and
waiting
AR.
for the, I ain't gonna be clicking all that, but the anticipation. But the wait is now over. Okay. All right. And she says, shout outs to Mr. M3, my brother. Okay, with the little coffee
Wait,
date emojis.
M3, did she say yeet?
Yeah, she said yeet.
Oh my God. Did she go back on
Mm-hmm.
that? Oh man. Yeet. Oh man. That's
And
funny.
then let's see. And shout out to CHICAGORilla. Thanks for hanging out, brother. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And
What's
then
up?
she
What's up,
says, can't
Dominique?
hate on them dickies though.
Hey
Oh
man.
man, those dickies, man, those are like the tough jeans, man. I love those, man.
Hey,
Especially
Jonathan
for
Pope,
work.
he too.
Mm-hmm. All right, CHICAGORilla. Since you already answered the number one question, all right, we're gonna jump into number two. All right. Number two is what has brought you here into like this social journey? Actually, what brought you into the streets of YouTube?
Oh man. It wasn't intentional. I'll give you that. It definitely wasn't
Mm.
intentional. So let me add on a little bit more, man, from the first question. So again, I'm talking about being born and raised south side of Chicago. I lived in Atlanta for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to Atlanta, became a man in Atlanta. So I always talk about Chicago raised me, but Atlanta made me, right?
Right.
And then my journey took me to Detroit for 2 years. And then I had an opportunity to come back home about almost 6 years ago. I had an opportunity to come back home to Chicago. I moved back home and been here ever since. And I don't see myself leaving, right? I don't see
Mm-hmm.
myself leaving again. So what brought me to social media, my background is in marketing, promotion, in particular lifestyle marketing and promotion. And, in 2020, when COVID hit, like it did for everybody, a lot of people sat down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in 2021 is when I came across Kevin Samuels. And when he did the whole average, and I'm specifically speaking to what brought me to this part of the social media. The reason why I said something, well, the reason why I mentioned being in lifestyle marketing promotion, I've always been a part of social media. So since like 2007, 2006, with the MySpaces and the Naps, like I was part of all that wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff was became a part of grassroots marketing for musicians and artists and stuff like that. So I've been on like Facebook, I think since 2009, Twitter, like all that. I've been on since their early inceptions. It's the newer accounts that I don't get on. But what brought me specifically to this space, which people would consider not even so much as manosphere anymore. It's like Black YouTube is what I'm hearing is being called now. For people that are stepping away from the rhetoric of the manosphere, whatever. And I was sitting there and I caught Kevin Samuels' average at best video like everybody else. His
Same thing. Yeah.
I thought his insight, was interesting and on point, because when I watched that interview, I was like, man, he real patient with this sister. He's real
Yeah.
patient with this sister. And I know it sent everybody else up, but I was like, yo, I mean, I just didn't see it the same way as most people saw it. I think, well, most women saw it as rude. I think most brothers saw it the way that I saw it, which was, he was really trying to be patient with that woman. He kept saying, ma'am. We hadn't heard a dude use ma'am in a while, right?
Yeah.
Word.
He was explaining to her like, yo, you came on the wrong day. She didn't care. Yo, Southside Wild Wild, you already know, Yellow.
I see yellow.
And so, and so the thing of it is that intrigued me. So you know how the algorithm work. Once I go through one part of it, and then you start seeing these other videos pop up or whatever. So my P network popped up in my feed. And I was like, yo, what's this? And so I go to it and I'm listening, and it's like three dudes. It was JR, Anton, and B Nix, and then it was Tawana. And I'm listening to the conversation. I'm like, man, this is different. This is different. They're talking about relationships and they talking about everything under the sun. But it was just different to hear their perspectives. And then I'm doing the knowledge on them, and it's like, oh, they from Chicago and he's from Detroit. So then there was that Midwest connection. And for me, I root for everything from Chicago. I root for everything Black. Initially. Let me clarify that. I am 1000% pro-black. I am black-owned, black business, blackity, black. And let me be clear on that, because I know some people be like, they don't get down like that. They sift through what the best fit. Cool, all that's great. I am blackity, black first, and then I start to identify, if we align or not, and whether I'm gonna spend my money with you. So for me to see JR, a brother from Chicago who created a platform and getting it in and having meaningful dialogue, I started out as most people, man. I started out as a fan. I was calling in. I was, when I would disagree with Tawana, I let it be known, and I disagree with her more than I agree with her. But when I agreed with her, I let that be known too. But it was, it's a running joke. My wife my wife now, she used to tell me all the time, like, man, stop calling in every Thursday and badgering that woman. Are you badgering that woman? Stop doing that, right? But there were times I disagree with Anton too, and I would call and let that be known, right? And those episodes still exist. But I was just really proud that somebody from Chicago was making their way in the figure 8 on YouTube like that. Like, he was making waves. And so after me calling in a couple of times, and then I got active in the Facebook group, and I came in the Facebook group as a disruptor, because there was a lot of conversation. See, there was a lot of conversation piggybacking off of what the current talking point was, and I was kind of like, well, gentlemen, like, we got to have our sugar honey iced tea together too. Like, we got to get our stuff together. So it was contrary to what the current talking point was, which was really around having scrutiny for the women. And so between my activity in the Facebook group and me calling in, JR, asked me to come on 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Then it became, hey man, I want you to come up permanently. And so I ride with that brother, man. That's a solid dude. Stand-up gentleman. I have nothing but good things to say about JR, man. Like, really, really, really good brother. If you ever get to know him, ever get to meet him, really solid dude. So that's what brought me to this side of social media. Then the other thing is, once I started seeing that, once I started getting recognized in public, and then especially once I started getting phone calls like, hey, I saw you on whoop-de-woo, bop, 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 bop. I was like, oh, I could reach shorties through this medium, right? Quicker than trying to figure out how many high schools I can get into Chicago. I can reach shorties quicker through YouTube, through the leveraging social media, than I can trying to figure out how to get face-to-face with them. So I still do face-to-face interactions. But this YouTube space, I think, is a major tool for us to have the conversation, especially and in particular with young Black men in America. So
that's what's up, man.
Word.
Because like, definitely, like, when it comes to social media, man, like, man, you could reconnect, like, with old homies, with family members. You could reach out to me. I feel like, yeah, you can reach out to the community faster than, like, within, like, your own city, or try and travel from, like, state to state, and the way I also look at it is the reason why, knowledge and relationships, like, exist. Um, I feel like, all of our lives, like, we always been trying to, like, reach out to, certain people that's, like, going through stuff. Because you got to have some type of compassion for people. That's just my opinion. But when we started doing the live stream, and not only we start helping out the people that's, like, within our area, we start helping people out from, like, other countries and all that. I was going through relationship issues. That's when I started taking this YouTube thing very seriously, because I'm like, man, I mean, by the end of the day, hey, if we could put a smile on someone's face, I don't care about the viewership or whatever. I mean, the views is good and trying to get the subscription up, but ultimately, hey, if people could walk away, man, like, not feeling depressed, or maybe subconsciously, like, saving someone's life, then I feel like, man, like, we did something for tonight. So that's what really keeps me going.
I agree, man. I think like, even last night I was on a panel, right? And the young blood that was on the panel, he was the youngest person there. And he was talking about, because it was like 6 of us, and he was referring to the other 5 gentlemen that was on the panel with him. and he talked about how he appreciated being on the panel, and he had told, like, he spoke to his peers, and what he was saying was that, man, like, the information that I got from these 5 different angles, 5 different viewpoints, all the information was relevant. And he said it's like getting information from your father in 30 minutes. Right? But he said but here's a caveat. When your father is there, you're getting this information 24/7 for life. Right? So that's also the reason why, us as black men, you do see this wave. We are countering the narrative. Contrary to popular belief, there are fathers out there, good fathers, raising their kids and doing what they're supposed to do. So I look at this as a tool and a resource. I get really discouraged, to be honest, which is why another thing you'll see me do is that if I'm misunderstood, a lot of times I reach out behind the scenes and I'll give people my real live phone number in an effort to try and have the conversation. I think that conversation is important because everybody deserves to be heard, right? You may not be right. I may not agree with you. I may not even take your advice, but I want you to hear my perspective and understand me a little bit better. And then I want to hear your perspective. As a result of me being in this space for almost a year and a half now. I say this all the time, and I know it gets ridiculed, but it's the truth. Like, I consider myself an eternal student. So I'm always learning. I'm always evolving. I'm always growing. I'm always critiquing myself. I'm always seeking to be better than I was yesterday. Right. And so in the year that I've been in this space, man, it's challenged me on a couple of things. And one of the biggest takeaways that I got from this space was I challenged the notion of whether I needed to get, whether I was prepared to get married or not. Right.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, me and my girl, we had a real conversation back in November. And when we had that conversation, it's funny because she was like, "Boy, we could have been did this." And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, man, I said, well, I thought you wanted, and I thought I needed to." And she said, "No, that's what you wanted. What I wanted was," and when she laid out what she wanted, I was like, "Oh man, we can go to the courthouse and get it done." That conversation was a result of being in this space, being in this Black YouTube space, and really being convicted about covering her properly, right? On a spiritual level, financial level, physical level, all those different levels. But the spiritual covering is what really bothered me a lot. But I don't think I would have moved as fast if I wasn't being challenged in these spaces. So that's why I kind of always look at it like, and I know me and Best have had this conversation, whether, just around the concept of YouTube, and it's just social media, it's just YouTube, it's not real. Me personally, my experience has been behind the scenes. People are having real conversations. People are really being affected about what goes on some of these platforms. And I'm just using myself as a personal example in that some of these conversations that are happening in this space has real consequence and real impact. So,
right.
Yeah, I just want to say that, Rilla is always willing to have the conversation no matter what. I've seen that, on live. I've seen it backstage. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he definitely is somebody who, he's not a hard man to get in contact with. Like, if you really want to reach him, you can reach him. You know what I'm saying? And he's willing to talk to you and get things, worked out however it needs to get worked out. And I definitely respect that about Rilla and just how he moves. Shout out to Mr. She said, "I see you." Shout out to Pops, "I see you." Shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes. Hey, what's going on?
Good evening, sis.
Yeah, you muted too, CHICAGORilla.
I know. I'm just don't mind me. I'm jaw jacking and slacking, man. Hey, baby.
Go ahead, Mr. Best.
Oh no, I'm done. That's what I want to say. Like, he definitely, will talk to you real time if need be. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, definitely, most definitely. Real quick, let's see. She stole my thunder. Don't think I forgot about you. I didn't want to be rude because CHICAGORilla was talking, but I got you on the sound effects as usual. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Special salute always to you, my sister. Much love.
Much love. Much love.
All right, we have Jay Takashi. Salute, Jay Takashi, brother. You rock, brother. I would like to interview you one day.
Man,
Gotta tell
you
Jay
heard
Takashi.
best. You heard best. You heard what he said. I'm not a hard guy to get in touch with, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
See, low key, you inspired me. Sorry, you inspired to be. Oh, I think you said you inspired me to be married one day. Okay.
Hey, let me say this, man. Shout out to all the super alphas. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are y'all are icons, right? Like you so alpha, you out alpha alphas, man. Shout out to y'all, right? But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, man. Like for real, like we men, G, like yo, women are dope. Like, they make your life better. They're soft. It's good to feel on them. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta relax, man. Sister, listen, women are dope. You know, I was in a long-term relationship. Me and my girl, you know, this October be 6 years. We just got married this year. And and married life, I'll just say like married life is better. Married life is better. Long-term relationship, cool, whatever you want to do with that, whoop, blah, blah, blah. But there's a legal aspect of marriage, and then there's a spiritual aspect of marriage. It's just so much better. And the sex is better. The sex is better on this end. It was cool in a long-term relationship. It's better being married, right? We gotta relax, man. Like there's so many people scared to get married. You know, I was on a panel last night, and God bless the brother. Salute to him. But he was speaking from a position of fear and a defeatist attitude. You know, I don't want a woman to come in here and take my stuff. And it's like, well, what are we doing this for? You know, one of the greatest businessmen, in my opinion, Dame Dash, often talks about hustling for his last name. So if we going out here and we making money and we providing, you know, and we aspire, you should aspire to be man, husband, father, prophet, priest, king. If you don't, what are we doing it for? What am I out here working for? Only for me to build this massive empire and only for it to die with me when I leave. Right? So people gotta relax on and that's not against the brother that sit in that chat. I'm just saying, like, man, we gotta relax a lot in these spaces. I'm hearing dudes like, yo, you know, stay away from single moms, which ideally, if you could find a woman without a child, that's ideal. The truth of the matter is all y'all niggas been sloppy, right? A lot of niggas been sloppy, been out here slut monkeying and skeeting and shooting up the club. And you know, some things don't work out. I'm not putting blame one way or the other, but what I'm saying is the pool is the pool. What we have to work with is what we have to work with. And with that being the case, man, find somebody that you can rock with. I'm so glad I ain't got to be out. I don't know what y'all marital situation is. Man, I'm so glad I ain't got to be out in this dating pool. It's nasty out here, man.
Hey, man, I'm content.
It's nasty. That's why it's nasty out here for y'all, man.
I'll say this. I think that
Buy Xbox dialogue.
I think that you know what I'm saying, you know, and this is just coming from, you know, being in a relationship, you know, or seeing relationships, you know, for a long time, that, you know, that have been together a long time, or just, you know, being in a household and relationships that have been together a long time. It's a lot of work. So I think a lot of times, you know, people, because there's so many options, sometimes people don't want to put in that work, right? So that's one. But I also think that the fears that a lot of men have, you know, they are valid. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially if you have worked hard and you have assessed a good amount of value in what you've done, and for somebody to come through and potentially take that away, you know what I mean? Some that you
Best.
can't. No, I'm just being honest.
Oh
You know
no,
what I'm
your
saying?
phone cut
It's a
out.
no,
Yeah,
I'm being honest. It's a twofold thing. Like, but I also believe that I believe that we have to get over two stigmas. I think we got to get over the stigma of relationships being all bad, right? You know what I mean? So we got to get over that stigma. Like, okay, so what? Your friend had a bad experience, and you know what I mean? Some chick took all his money and she left him. You know what I mean? Like, all right, cool, I understand that, but that was his experience. Like, there were certain things that have happened with him that has impacted what he's gone through, or maybe sometimes you've had bad experiences with chicks, and you know things have gone a certain way, but you got to see that, that wasn't you. That probably was that person, right? That person probably did not value you as a man. You know what I'm saying? And they probably had a lot of stuff going on that you probably maybe have ignored. You know what I mean? Because sometimes men, we ignore things. We get coochie and we start ignoring stuff, right? So maybe you've ignored things for so long, and the red flags were there that Shorty wasn't rocking with you, but you just let it be. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't take it seriously until serious things started to happen. You know what I mean? So I think we got to get over past that and just see kind of that's situational, that not every woman or not every female is trying out to get you. Not every female's a gold digger. Not every female, is trying to pocket watch you or trying to take away your fortune or trying to take away your legacy and all that. Not every female's trying to do that. So I think we got to get away from that as well. But then we also do have to be aware. So it's twofold. Like, we got to be aware, but in the same sense, what I mean, we also have to understand, um, what I mean, that you want to have a healthy relationship with someone. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then also, like, I think also for men too, not every man has to do things the same. I think I think that's another thing that I think men fall into the trap of. Like, all right, just because your family or the men of your family, they all been players or they all been this, that, and the third,
Yep.
that doesn't mean that that's for you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You probably just want to be with one person, and that's fine. Like, don't try to live up to what they was doing or what you thought somebody else was doing. Live up to what you want to be with. If you want to be with one girl and that's what you want to be with, and that's what you really want to rock with, then do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want monogamy and that's what's comfortable for you, then do that. Stop trying to force what other people are doing, you know what I mean, or what other people have, or what other perceptions of what a man should be on yourself. Be your own man. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I think so many brothers are trying to fit into what they believe is cool or what they family done did or whatever that. Then get away from that. Do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, for those who want to, I guess, sow their royal oats and get to know different females, if that's your lane and that's what you want to do, then understand, that's the lifestyle you want to live. But understand that each lifestyle you pick, there's going to be challenges. You pick monogamy, there's going to be challenges. You pick being a playboy and trying to figure it out, there's going to be challenges. Like, you're not going to duck the fade. Like, you're gonna have challenges no matter what you do,
Yeah.
right? But you have to do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what men gotta get back into, man. You know what I mean? And then also, I think in that we also gotta get back to just certain things that I feel like men used to do back in the day. We gotta get back into like a lot of romance and chivalry and things of that nature. Like, I don't feel like we do that enough as men sometimes. You know what I mean? For the men who are really into that. Like, if you're really into that, then do it. Don't try to be like, and I'm just using his name as an example. Don't try to be like Chris Brown and Trey Songz. Like, don't, don't be trying to have like a chick of the week and all that. Like, that's not you, homie. Like, if you into romance, be into romance. You know what I'm saying? Be into romance. If you into comic books and you want to find a chick that's into comic books, find that. Like, I think as men, we got to start to really go after women that are about the things that we are about. You know what I mean? And not being afraid to go after that. And then also, once we go after that, you know what I mean, be willing to step up and be a man in a situation. You want to step up and do the things that makes your woman feel like a woman in whatever situation that you're in. You know what I mean? So whether you're monogamous, whether you're poly, whatever you are, do what you feel comfortable with. Stop trying to fit into what somebody's telling you need to do. So yeah.
Well, I'll say this. Me, I preach abstinence and monogamy exclusively, right? Because I'm pro nuclear family, and a lot of what you hit on is square on. But let me say this with the with the romance piece, brothers. I know y'all some super alphas, man. I know alphas don't buy flowers. You know, alphas don't open doors. She's supposed to open the door for you. You the pimp. Say something, man. My girl don't touch doors. We was in Detroit and we went out with one of my favorite people for brunch, and he was driving us to the restaurant. So she knew when we walked up to the car, she did not touch that door. When we got out the car, I don't care if she got to sit there 15 minutes before I get around to that door. It took me a long time I hate to say it this way, and I mean no disrespect, but it took me a long time to train her not to touch doors. You don't touch doors when you're in my presence, period. No woman does. And we got to get back to being like you saying, man, we got to get back to the basics, man, being able to open doors for women. And they may not always say thank you. I hate it too, brothers. I hate when I open the door for a woman and she don't say thank you. You know what I'm saying? You know, I hit her with, you're welcome, ma'am. I don't say it like aggressively or condescendingly, but you know, you're welcome, ma'am. Right? Just to let her know I'm here. You do realize I opened the door for you. And it don't matter what color they are either. We are so disconnected as a people through, in part, this social media. We're used to texting. We're so busy looking down at our phones. So used to being, you know, I got to wake up in the morning. First thing I do, who hit me on Facebook? Who text me? What they say about me on Instagram? Man, that attention, shout out to Ricky Williams. He talks about attention being the currency. And I just want these young bloods to understand, because I think a lot of the message that's being pumped to them literally is pump and dump. A lot of the message that's being pumped to them is these hoes ain't loyal. Ski, bust it down. Hey, let's keep it a bean, fam. You know, a lot of us, well, I'll say for me, when I was in my slut monkey days, I didn't know what I was doing, man. My libido was crazy. I had no idea what I was doing, right? But I thought I was killing it, right? And the truth of the matter is, it's best when you get it right with one person. It's best when you get it right with one person. The reason why I preach, I know brothers have this thing about polygamy. In Western culture, we're not even built and groomed to be able to support the concept of polygamy. I know the hot topic conversation right now is, you know, men naturally, you know, they hit more than one woman. I hear you. But you also understand in those cultures, the men that hit more than one woman they're responsible for taking care of that woman and supporting that woman and catering to a lifestyle beneficial of that woman. Most men in Western culture are not. You just want the benefits of polygamy and you don't want the work that it takes to sustain polygamy. That's why, for me, because we're in Western culture, I advocate for monogamy. And so in my house, if I need a new woman or a different woman, hey, babe, let's go get you a wig, right? Let's go get you a costume and an outfit. I need you to be Cardi B today, right? The thrill of it all for me is to be able to bring out of my woman what it is that I need in her. And vice versa. If she needs something different out of me, she should be able to come and tell me what it is that she needs from me and be able to get that out of me. That's the thrill in the relationship. It saddens me when you see these articles about people being married 20-something years, 30-something years, and then getting divorced. That means y'all stop seeking to become one. I told my girl, we got a number of years left in this thing, right? And we're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. And whatever we need to do to make that happen. I know it sounds aspirational and all that other stuff, but whatever we got to do to make that happen, that's what we're gonna do to make that happen. So that's my take on it, man. We got to get back to the basics. And a lot of the foundation that, you know, I won't even say our parents, but like our grandparents, they weren't perfect, but a lot of the foundations and the basics that they laid, which was family first. We got to get back to that, man. We're not even thinking family. People just thinking self. They thinking about that nut, and they thinking about their immediate bank account and their car and their condo. And so then what happens? I wanted to ask the brother that I was on the panel with last night, what happens when you 80, 85, and can't wipe your own tail. You have no kids, no wife. Who's gonna be there to take care of you? The nursing home? You think those people are gonna care for you the same way that your family that you poured into, that you built, that you invested in would care for you? And I told my seeds, y'all better not ever put me in a nursing home. You better open up your door for me. Don't ever put me in no nursing home. Going no damn nursing home. Y'all crazy. Y'all better get me off on another time. What's the next question, man?
Well, look, I gotta give you the air horn for that, right? And I also have to give you a round of applause because that was a beautiful message right there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, like, we don't hear that too often. Like how fun marriage could be in any other social space, especially like and no shade to the manosphere, but these alphas and betas or whatever, however you want to call them, right? Fuck, I don't care. Um, the only thing they promote is all these reasons why you shouldn't get married to this woman because she's gonna break your heart and gonna hurt you, and if you disregard my advice, then it's just all on you. So it's good to kind of hear people talk about like the beautiful side of marriage, you know.
All right, M3, let me before you move on, let me say this, man.
Mm-hmm.
So the mother of my
No
children,
problem.
I was married for 10 years. And I say I was married 9 years longer than what I was supposed to be. I actually was married probably 9 years and 11 months longer than what I was supposed to be married, right?
Mm-hmm.
My grandma told me off rip, like, no, that's not her. She vetted her, said no, and I went against her anyway. But that situation did not deter me from being willing to find love and a relationship somewhere else. And I get it. Some dudes, shout out Big Rigs. Some
Big ring.
Look, brother.
Some dudes are confirmed bachelors, and I don't find nothing wrong with that. I do have a problem with confirmed bachelors being slut monkeys, though, right? And messing up the pool, right? So you out here slutting these women out, and then but you complaining and you mess it up for other brothers who want to select, a particular type of woman. But for me, and I get skewered for this on the show, man. I always say I'm a sucker for love type nigga, man. I've never been. That's why when all the labels come, the simp, the beta, the hoster, I embrace it. Because in real life, I know I'm good. I know I'm a good dude in real life. I'm a solid dude in real life. You're not gonna find people that say, "Oh, he did me wrong. He took advantage of me. He did me dirty." None of my exes are really gonna say that to you, right? So the thing of it is, most dudes operate from a fear mindset and a defeatist mentality. And so it's like you don't even want to go into the pool because you're so scared of what you seen happen with this person, that person, or somebody hurt you before. But for me, that's the adventure and the thrill of it all, man. I can't even tell y'all enough, man. My little boo thing, that is my best friend. That's my best friend. We had a conversation last night, and the question was around, how vulnerable and transparent are you with your lady or whatever, whoopie woo. And it's like the crazy thing to me is that some people were willing to be in a space where you in a long-term relationship and you share everything with her, but right? You talk to her about everything except for her. That makes no sense to me. What's the purpose of y'all being together, man? I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not saying I haven't been in situations where people have weaponized certain things that I've said to them. But that's the risk you take, period. So I don't move out of a fear mentality. I move out of who I am as a human being, who I am as a man. And I just have to stand on that, man. 10 toes down, I have to stand on that. And if you try and weaponize anything against me, that speaks more to your character than it does mine. So I just encourage dudes, man. If you want to, and it shouldn't be that you want to be in love, but you want to be what's the old boy name from Love Jones? Man, I can't think of Lorenz Tate character. I can't. It's like
I know you're talking about.
Darius. It's not that
Yeah,
you
there is.
should be
Yeah,
that.
that's the dude.
It's not that you should be that. You should be thinking legacy, right? Like what I think about, dog, honestly, when I leave, what are they gonna say about me when I leave? Right? What does my bloodline look like when I'm no longer here? Like when I go through Chicago, there are certain pockets of Chicago that you go through in certain neighborhoods. That family name still ring bells in that certain neighborhoods. Whether it's a gang banging neighborhood, whether it's a family that was religious, or whether it was a family that was business oriented, the family name rings bells. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I'm hustling for. That's why I always quote Dame Dash when he talks about hustling for my last name. That's what it's about, gentlemen. It's not about, the lovey-dovey do, da 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 da. And you can't continue legacy without a female. You can try, but it's gonna be a lot of dudes. While they sitting out here talking about some buy a dog, die alone, there's gonna be a lot of dudes that when you die, your legacy dies with you. It's gonna die with you. Because you so alpha. You super alpha. And nobody's left to carry on your directive and your instruction. We talk about the Rockefellers, the Carnegies. We talk about the Hiltons. We talk about the Marriotts all day long. Fords. Yo, fam, when I was in Detroit, I was telling my girl, we was driving, they got a Ford Road, a Ford Hospital, a Ford School of this, a Ford building over here, a Ford Field. Everything is, ask anybody from Detroit, everything is Ford. Why? That man legacy live in that city. Live in that city. Oh, wow. What you doing this for? Sorry, man, I'm going off on a tangent. What's the next question?
No, you good, bro. You good.
No, my guy. I mean, you hella good. But go ahead.
I just want to piggyback off that. I think like I said, that's what I would say. You got to do what's best for you, man. Some people are okay with dying with their legacy by themselves. I'm one of them. I don't want kids, and I really don't think I'm gonna ever have kids. You know what I mean? For me to have a kid, it would have to take a lot for me to have a kid, and yeah, I'm just not on that. I'm not on that tangent right now. Maybe.
I want to stay right there, Bess. I want to stay right there. Why?
Huh?
Why don't you want to have kids? Why don't you want a legacy?
We'll be here like 5 hours, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to go into that. There's a lot to go into that, man. It's a lot that goes into that.
I will carve out time for you. I want to know why. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, and I'm not trying to be funny. I want to know why, because I think it's, and I'm not, this is not, ain't no shaming in sign language. I think it's man's innate nature to want legacy. If we here just for ourselves, and maybe you create legacy in a different way. Maybe you make Mr. Best in the World name so big that you can't help but to, whether you have biological children. Like I have a mentor, a boss, an old boss. I still call him boss, and he hates it. No wife, no kids, never been married, no kids, but he got a lot of kids. You hear what I'm saying? No wife, no kids, never been married, but he got a lot of kids because he's poured into so many of us. And you have man, I keep telling him every time I see one of us, like I'll see somebody post something on social media, I see one of us doing well that comes from his legacy of mentorship and instruction. I'm like, man, look at you. Look what you did. Look, right? Because I know that's something that weighs heavy on them. So that's why I'm asking you, like, what are you thinking about it in that way? Or are you saying inherently, I'm living for myself? Y'all can have this cesspool of whatever y'all got going on. Like, how are you? I just want to dig a little deeper, bro. I'm sorry.
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But I really don't get into my personal life. Everybody knows that I don't really talk about my personal stuff. But it's just my personal choice. Like I just choose not to do that at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one day I'll change my mind, but I don't know when that day gonna come. But it's probably far off. But
I hit you behind the scenes.
Yeah, you go always holler at me behind the scenes about that one.
I personally want to know, and it'll help me out. But I appreciate it, fam. I apologize.
No, you good. No. You can ask me whatever. If I don't, if I choose to have it backstage, and we got it backstage. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think that's what we tell people: do what works for you. I think yes, in America we are only built for monogamy. You know what I mean? Or we only know about monogamy. But now with the new generation, man, or with people doing things a certain way or want to do things a certain way, man, it's kind of it's it's kind of hard to like. I was having a conversation with a cousin of mine, and they were like 19, and the stuff that they would, that they're into, or the stuff that they feel about society, like I don't understand, man. Like it's just completely different than anything that I've ever felt or wanted to do with my life. Period. Like, but this is what this person wants to do, and it's challenging. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn, like, don't you want certain things out of life, or don't you want certain things to be a certain way? But at the end of the day, like, they don't want certain things, and sometimes it bothers me or it troubles me. But it's like, damn, like, all right, man, they just they don't want that. You know what I mean? Or they don't see that right now. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it opened my eyes to say, like, all right, well, for me to one understand what's going on in society now, what I mean? Because I feel like we live in a time where it's like there's so many different, mindsets and narratives, right? There's mindsets that are more kind of like your mindset and my mindset. Where we kind of, we want more of a monogamous thing. We into romance. We into, being with one lady, things of that nature, right? That's what we into, right? We've grown to that point as men. But then there's other mindsets now. There's so many different mindsets. Whereas I don't think we ever lived in a time that was just so like divided in kind of how we wanted to live our lives. You know what I mean? I think in any other time in history where I look, it was somewhat of a consistent basis of how people wanted to do things, right? It was kind of like, all right, we want to do things this way. But now it's like it ain't like that no more, man. Like everybody wants to do things a certain way. And you know what I mean? I think in that, you know what I mean, it's so confusing right now. It is, bro. It's super confusing. Like
But but
I'm
but
with you.
but best. That's what I'm saying, and that's why I wanted to speak to Miss April point too. Is that I think what she was saying was that like certain things are not for everybody, and that should be there. That's right, and I agree with you, Miss April. Um, but your point around confusion, it also speaks to the need for OGs and men of a certain age and wisdom to be able to press the line, right? Because then what happens when, let's say, we fall into this free fall culture of I call it the digital underground. I got the sex packet playing around here somewhere. What
Man, you taking the sex packet.
do yeah, digital underground. They had a song on that sex packet, what's the name? EP called Do What You Like. And it was just
Mm.
free fall. Whatever you want to do.
That's-
How do we sustain a race? How do we advance? How do we move forward as a people, as a collective? If everybody is just doing everything with no consequence, no,
Mm.
like there's no boundaries.
So CHICAGORilla, let me ask you this question: do we have too much freedom?
You said say it again.
Do we have too much freedom?
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. And freedom isn't free.
Mm.
Always gonna pay for it one way or another. Freedom isn't free, man. Like it's always like what's funny? I hear people all the time say, "Well, it's freedom of speech." Like being in these YouTube streets, people talk about, "Well, it's freedom of speech." Your freedom of speech is not without consequence. You can't run
Mm.
into a movie theater, a crowded movie theater, and yell fire, and there's no fire, and then just say, and people die as a result of you doing that irresponsibly. And they say, "Well, it's freedom of speech." It's not without consequence. We have a ton of choices in Western culture. In Western culture, when you go to indigenous cultures, man, they healthier and they happier. And you know what's funny? There's always somebody that thinks they're smarter than God and go over there and try and civilize the quote unquote uncivilized.
Mm.
And those people become more miserable as a result, man. So
Mm.
like we're in this space now where we know, listen, man, my grandma talks about, you so smart, you dumb. Right? Because we
Mm.
sit up here, we walk around like we know everything about nothing. And then you wind up
Mm.
reverting back to you wind up reverting back to your innate nature. God, I believe in God. So I don't think God makes mistakes. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. And it's always us trying to improve on what he did instead of being co-creators with him.
Mm.
created us, Imago Dei, the image of God. He made us to be co-creators with him. It's my opinion. I don't want to do a whole Bolo deep dive on it.
No, go ahead, bro. Bro, you good, man. You good. This is why we had these conversations.
Nah, shout out to Bolo, man.
Yeah, I love Bolo. He inspires me a lot, man.
That brother faithfully will hit me with a scripture, and every time he hits me, like first thing in the morning, it's like, oh man, shout out to Colette. Shout out to super dope. Shout out. Jesus Christ, that woman is doing the Lord's work, man. You know, I just think that we're in this space. You asked about having too much freedom. Yes. Because if you have freedom without bound, I mean, think about it, fam. When we were growing up, whether it was your mother or for me, it was like a lot of times my uncle and my granddad, there had to be structure. As a child, I didn't have like the freedoms that, you know, I didn't have those. I was free to an extent. And a lot of times, you know, some of those restrictions and boundaries are for your protection. Man, we hate standards, we hate discipline, we hate correction, we hate protection. Ladies, when a man tells you, hey, don't go down that street, or hey, don't be out there by yourself, or hey, I saw you posting this, and this online, you know, don't post that online. That's not somebody trying to control you all the time. That's for your protection. Learn to follow. Because they'll sit up there and say, well, the black man don't protect black women. I just told you not to go over there for a reason. Pay attention. Ain't nobody trying to control you.
Smooth, bro.
But it's hard enough for me to control myself. I'm trying to control you. I'm trying to protect you. Anyway.
And just to give that clarification of protection, the reason why we're really stern to try to protect you, sisters, is because if anything happens, we're going to be the main ones that are going to put ourselves on the line because we love y'all. And so, you know, I mean, I guess, well, Will Smith would say, like, love will make you do crazy things. But no, it's just that when you're not complying to our advisory, then it puts us into the battle line to do what we need to do. Because we ain't gonna let nobody try to, you know, lay hands or try to argue or try to belittle you down. But we need y'all to listen when we try to give you careful instruction.
I ain't doing that no more in 3. They don't listen.
Well, in my household, like they will have to.
They don't listen no more. They don't listen. They don't listen. I'm telling you.
It's against my code again. When I came up on the platform I'm on now, talking about protecting all black women and this, that, and third, boy, I got skewered, right? I remember being out there on 95th and Western, and I saw an interracial couple arguing, and I just stepped to the sister and I said, "Hey, are you okay?" And then I was telling the story, and why would you do that? He could have had a knife. He could have had all those things. All I did was make sure that she was okay. Part of what I was doing was letting him know that somebody else is there watching and that sister is cared for, right? But ladies, when we give y'all instructions, it's for a reason. Ain't nobody trying to control you. Don't nobody want to dominate you. You're supposed to fall under my covering. I'm supposed to cover you. Right now, when Emprey, to your point, when you hear KS talk about men understanding that, like, because I know women like to do this all the time too. Why you ain't keep the same energy for such and such and so and so? Hey, because I know when I'm dealing with another man that got just as much. See, if I'm dealing with a ladies, y'all gonna hate it, but it's the truth. You know, ladies, y'all weaker than us. Y'all weaker. You're not as strong as me. So when I address you, and if I put some bass in my voice, it's to get your attention, make you motherfucking understand that I'm serious in what I'm saying right now. Okay. However, if I'm dealing with M3 and I'm dealing with Best, my conversation might be a little different because we both know if I put bass in my voice, nigga might hit me. Who the fuck you talking to? Now it just got real. See? And women don't understand the position that they put men in sometimes, where now we didn't took it to that point, and neither one of us finna move off our square. Neither one of us finna bitch up and say, "Oh, you know what, fam, you got that." No, anyway, no, that's not gonna happen. So when we giving y'all instructions, like just please hear what we say. Nobody trying to dominate, possess you, make you bow down to us. We trying to protect you. That's our nature, especially when we look at you as a delicate flower. When you're quote unquote resting in your femininity, that's our nature as men to want to put that cape on. I don't care what no alpha say. If you see a little 5'1" demure woman getting bullied or pushed around by a 6 foot whatever, you gonna have questions. You may pause and assess the situation. You might see her movement, but if she's cowering, like if he's towering over her and she's cowering, like no, 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 man, you gonna want to step in. Stop with the anyway. These be too alpha, but ladies, my point is, listen, man, I had a good weekend. I just feel like cutting up, bro. Like niggas just be too alpha, man. Like we don't have emotions. We don't look at when we don't never want to step in and save a woman, or if you step in and save a woman, you're a cat to save them, and all these negatives, man. Like no,
we want to, man. I mean, I want to, but I ain't doing it no more, man. Like,
and I'm you may have very good reason, but what I'm saying is, listen, you may look at the situation and assess it. You can't tell me that you're not sitting there, you're not thinking about it twice. You may have some really bad experience doing that. I get it. And especially in this day and time, I super get it. Because sisters will sit up there and do some oofy goofy stuff.
Oh boy.
And then be right back with dudes. So I'm not tripping. But what I'm saying is our innate nature, like you gonna look at it and at least say, like, man, what's going on over there? And you may assess the situation, you may decide not to. And that's what I'm saying. Sisters got to understand. You can't just keep finger pointing and saying everything is on the black man. The same way I'm telling brothers, we can't just keep, like, I'm tired of, like, we can't just keep looking at the sisters and everything is on the sister. Nah, what are we doing as men? What are we doing as men? And then, because I honestly believe at this point, sisters need to be checking sisters. Ain't nothing we can say to them, brothers. They know, they already know how we feel. They already know our concerns, our gripes, our grievances, all that stuff. If sisters ain't checking sisters, shame on sisters. And I don't want to hear no excuse about, well, they don't listen. Well, they catty, they this, they that. I don't care, man.
All right, so let's keep it buck 100, right? Okay, for both these alpha men and some of these sisters, right? Unruly ones. You know, they always want to try to keep things in code. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't help her because, like, there's nothing I could do with my own power. If she don't listen to you, she's not going to listen to me. No, most of the time, women will listen to their peers. You know, they'll listen to their other type of guy friends or whatever per se. Over them, they'll listen to, like, some of their own men. But you don't want to do it because you have this stupid ass code that you're trying to uphold for whatever reason. Maybe it's probably feminism or whatever type of bullshit. And then that's for like these like wannabe, oh yeah, alpha men, these macho dudes. The only reason why I feel like people will try to say, oh yeah, you beta, or I guess a Captain Saberhole for trying to step in, is because you're a coward. Because you, as a so-called alpha man, you see someone that's like bigger than you, and you see like a smaller woman, and you know that if you step in, it'll just be a buck 100. You know you won't get your ass whooped, and that will like whoop, and that dude will whoop and strip all your alphaness away. That's why I feel like some of these people, right, will try to shame other people because that's just like a way of them saying, like, look, it ain't none of my business. I ain't stepping in. These bitches ain't shit. So why I gotta step in? They don't appreciate it.
Facts. 1000%
You son of a bitch.
Because they don't appreciate it. And I'm gonna tell you why. I got a real life story. Now, I got woke up in the heat of summer, right? It was the heat of summer, like 100 degrees, right? You heard me tell the story in 3 plenty of times, right?
Salute, you know yeah. I mean?
And I got up, salute some of Miss Pies as well. Got up, and a family member of mine woke me up. They was like, "Yo, one of the females in the family in trouble." So got dressed, got everybody up in the car. We riding, we going through. And when we get there, this person gonna give us an attitude. They're gonna ask me why I'm there and all this other stuff. And then before I even went, you know, the elder in our family, she looked at us. She said, "I don't know why you boys are going out there." She said, "All she gonna do is wind up going right back to him," and she was right. You know what I'm saying? The family member I'm talking about that's unruly, that's only 19. It's a woman. It's not a man. It's a woman. 19, unruly, don't give a shit about anything. Okay, and the older sister is even worse. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there aren't women who don't need protection. I'm not saying there's women who don't want protection. But god dang, they are few and far in between, seem like nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we can't expect them, and these people that I'm related to. So imagine somebody that ain't related to me. I'm damn sure not stepping out of the box. I'll call the cops for you. You know what I mean? But I ain't stepping out of the box no more because I done had too many bad experiences, man. 'Cause at the end of the day, if you don't, if women, if the same way that we got to check our pride, the same way that we got to stop all this women hate stuff, and men got to stop being on this red pill rage. They got to stop calling women Big Shirley and all this other stuff, and really, really putting our sisters down. Y'all got to start appreciating us too, man. It's twofold, man.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's twofold.
But
You know what I mean? And
yes.
I'm so sick of brothers putting themselves on the line. You know what I mean? Even older brothers, even like uncles that I've seen, older men putting themselves on the line, and these women don't give a shit about them, man.
But
Like I'm so sick of seeing that.
What you said, hey, I'll call the police for you, right? Guess what? That's a form of protection, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You ain't got to go in there, swoop down and Clark Kent to Lois Lane on them. You know what I'm saying? That's a form of protection.
My initial reaction. That's what I want to do, though.
Yeah, but our innate response is like to go in there and problem solve. That's what I'm saying. You said, "Someone please call
911."
That's what I'm doing.
Stupid. Yeah. Hey man, that's a form of protection too, though. And the truth of the matter is, for me, man, it's about us getting back to community. That's where we lost that, fam. We lost. It's so many, man. It's so much division amongst us. We arguing now about foundational Black American versus ADOS versus reparations versus Bouye versus the bourgeoisie. Man, it's so much division, alpha versus beta. Like, listen, if what if what these people say about alphas and beta is true, and that 80% of the world is beta male, then why y'all out here fronting like all y'all alpha? All of y'all are alpha? Got it. I done seen some alphas get their ass beat by a beta. The brakes beat off of them by a beta. So that's why I don't subscribe. I hate these titles that we do, man. I don't do all that, man. I have never heard so much alpha beta talk until I came in this space. I've never seen so much peacocking and posturing until I came in this space. And for me, this is like, I'll tell you, I'll go back to your question earlier, M3. One of the things that I talk to JR about all the time, I say, bro, I'm just here to put some paint where it ain't, right? The moment I'm not adding value, the moment take me off the platform. It's one of the reasons people be like, yo, but you don't have a show. You should have a show. I agree, I should. But I love being able to maneuver in this space and do these types of conversations and maneuver how I want to maneuver. Why? Because when I say something or do something, you can't say I'm doing it for likes and views. I ain't stupid. I know there's money in the space. I know my value. I know I could do a whole YouTube channel off my life in Atlanta and bring up, because I tell certain stories and people be like, yeah, right. I'm at that age in my life now. Like I'm the old uncle with those griot stories. We sit around and campfire.
War stories.
Hey, I'll be like, man, this one time at Club Crucial, man, with T.I., Lil Wayne, and Young G. You ain't no Martin Luther King. Like, but I got real stories and photos to go with them, right? And so, oh man, I lost my point that quick, but I'm older now.
Tommy B.
Shout out to Tommy. He here?
Yeah. Tommy B's in here in the chat.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. That dude's so gangster, man. That dude, shout out Town Business, man. Town Business. Um, the ultimately, I just think we got to get back to the community, man. We do. Well, maybe not get back to community because the community looks a lot different now, right? We can't get back to community because it's kind of been lost. So we got to rebuild community. Like my kids are coming up. My kids are coming up, and they're surrounded. The first person, the only white people I saw when I was going to school was like the teachers.
Mm.
My kids are actually in class, Black, Asian, Hispanic, white. It's normal for them. But when you look at Asian, Hispanic, white, they have community that they go back to. My kids don't have that same community, right? And so that's what I think we got to build. We gotta rebuild the community and instill that sense of pride. And ultimately, like I said, it's so much division among us. Man, my homeboy created a T-shirt said, "I ain't arguing with nobody black."
I like that. I like that. I like that.
I'm trying to stick to it. I'm trying my very best to stick to it because ultimately, and I didn't get the opportunity to pull up on the other show that y'all did. I tried, but I couldn't. Let me say this, just to touch on it briefly around hypocrisy and all this other stuff, man. These quote unquote YouTube beefs, and I know the streets have settled a little bit. It's only a matter of time for something else kicks up, though. Let me say this, man. We in this sector, in this space, one thing I love about Atlanta music scene, those artists collab with each other. They build. It's not a cult in Atlanta. It's not unheard of to see Lil Baby partner up with Gunna and get on a record with T.I. and then do a record with Gucci. Then Jeezy comes in and do a record with Thugger. They do that because they're building their community. That's not a cult. That's community.
Yeah.
In this space, we so busy. You got a couple hundred subscribers. I'm gonna do a reaction video on you, take you down. I get your subscribers. Why not just invite me over for coffee and cocktails and we can have a conversation? And then I could bring my followers over to your channel and we can have a conversation and build. Right? But because this space makes it so people think they can't be touched, they do all types of stuff they would never do in real life and say all types of things that they would never say in real life.
Yeah.
Right? You don't, that, man. Anyway, my point being is that we need to build more because the true goal that what you should be looking, if you're in this space, Joe Rogan should be the target, not Kevin Smith.
He is.
I don't see nobody in this space talking about aspiring to get to his numbers. They may talk about something controversial that he said, but they don't aspire to be Joe Rogan. Maybe they
don't believe in that.
They aspire to take you down before, right? They'll aspire to do a reaction video on you before they aspire to say something or do a 7-part series on Joe Rogan.
Well, the issue is, family. What I've noticed, and I actually made a number of rules about this the other day, about being a content creator and what to expect. A lot of content creators, a lot of them, they're trolls, and they try to scam people, you know what I mean, and they just want some, and they trying to basically, a lot of them are phony. They try to ruin people's legacy. They try to drag people down because they want to create, an ish show because they believe that's going to help them gain more subscribers.
Yep.
But what they don't realize is that the thing that really gives you more subscribers and maintains that is having great content.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Content is king. And the thing is, and I know a lot of YouTube creators hate when I say this, but I really don't care. A lot of them just don't have content. You know what I mean? A lot, the difference between, like me and other content creators and me and my team of the content creators, we wake up with content. You know what I mean? I'm living, breathing content. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like when it comes to really this thing on YouTube, I really feel like nobody can touch me. I really feel like I'm Michael Jackson on this shit, honestly. I really feel like I would moonwalk all these niggas all day. You know what I mean? but that's how I feel. And I feel like the content creator, every content creator should feel that way. You should feel like I have so much content, nobody can mess with me. I know when I get on the mic and I turn my mic on, you know what I mean? And even if we're doing verbal debate, I know my sword can clash with anybody's sword and I can come out looking good no matter what, whether it's a tie or whatever. But I ain't gonna take no L. I know that for sure. No matter who I debate. You know what I mean? It could be Stephen A. Smith, it could be whoever. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Like nobody could touch me on this mic. That's how I feel. And I feel like every content creator, you should feel that way. You feel like nobody's able to touch you on the mic because you get busy on this. You does this.
But when the lights come on, best, the proof is in the pudding for a lot of these content creators, right?
Exactly.
Like I said this before I forget, you touched on something. I told you I'm getting up there in age. Somebody told me or made an allegation that I'm 60, so I'm gonna embrace that. Because if I'm 60, I look good for 60. So let me say this: fuck y'all trolls, man. I'm gonna tell you why. The era that I came up in, okay. Say there's an OG gangster on the block. Say there's a GD calling over. I won't name names, right? But he a GD and he calling over all the GDs on 110. Let your goof ass run up to him and say something slick out your mouth and they say, "Oh no, I was just trolling. I was just kidding. I was just playing." Boy, you finna get your ass beat. How the fuck you finna get on internet and think you can say whatever you want to say about somebody and then just because you say I'm trolling, that shit's supposed to slide and it's cool. That's why I be trying to tell these young bloods, man, y'all playing too much. You look like a fucking clown. You doing dumb shit and then run behind it and say, "I was just a joke." That's why I'm running up on niggas at the Oscars and slapping the shit out of them. The first time we just seen somebody get slapped, talking out their mouth sideways. And I know we had these conversations. I'm not saying dude was right for what he did, but damn, like, fam, what would have happened? Like, y'all all pressed on what dude was what he did. Nobody asked what would have happened if he hadn't made the joke. What would have happened if he had just kept his mouth shut and stuck on script and said, "And the nominees are." So I keep telling these folk, man, just because you pour syrup on it, don't make it pancakes. These are the same motherfuckers that sit up there and say, "Man, I'm just trolling." These are the same motherfuckers that say it ain't tricking because you got it. Or it ain't tricking if you got it. It ain't tricking if you got it. No, nigga, it's tricking because you got it. Talk to a real pimp and see what he say. You a sweet lick and a Vic for a pimp. You a pimp's wet dream. Run around talking dumb shit. You listening to T.I. and damn T-Pain tell you it ain't tricking if you got it. No, it's tricking because you got it, nigga. You young blood, stop doing all this dumb shit, running up in the grocery store, throwing shit at niggas bigger than you, and then you turn around and fake like, and then y'all got it all on tape. What you got on tape is you getting your ass beat. Right? Because you want to sit up there and say, "Oh, I was just trolling. I'm trolling." Okay, keep trolling. You see what trolling got 6ix9ine, right? See what trolling got 6ix9ine, right? Motherfucker can't. We don't even know where he at right now. Broke. Can't show his face in public for real, for real. Can't put out no music. Ain't nobody listening to his music.
He just be out there like on the comments on the Fresh and Fit now these days. So
I mean, what is he gonna do?
It's like
his academics turned this back on him. Right? See, academics even had to learn to fall back and then come back in the pot. Academics don't even troll like that no more. See, he didn't. We had to talk about clout chasing. He clout chased with a purpose. And let me say this too. You little niggas that's out here clout chasing, stop that shit, man. Put the work in. Ain't no shortcuts to success. Ain't no shortcuts to success. Stop doing all these fucking reaction videos and put out some real content.
Yes.
Sit up there all day and just do reaction videos. I don't care about your reaction. I don't care. I don't care. The same way you don't have to care about mine, but I don't do reaction videos. Remember, I don't have a channel, so I can talk how I want to talk. Seriously, man. These young bloods, listen, man. I'm in Chicago. I know people be like, people got it misconstrued with me, man. I'm a nerd. I'm an L7. I'm a simp. I'm a beta. I'm a square. I'm a hoster. I'm all of that. I've never claimed to be a thug. I've never claimed to be a gangbanger. I just can relate because the way that most of us grew up, we saw both sides of it. Right. We walked through the neighborhood to school with it. So we see both sides of it. And so with that, one thing that I do understand is you can't just run around and say da, 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 whatever you want to say and then say, oh, I'm trolling. It was just a joke. You're gonna get your ass beat. I see shorties all day long. I cut on the news right now and hear about somebody, or go to Chicago Media Takeout online right now and see something else about a shorty got killed because somebody said something on Instagram about their baby mama or something. Whoop, blah blah blah. Over words, you will get your ass killed over words. And then you out here talking about some, man, they ain't gonna see me, they ain't gonna touch me until you see them. You know, that's why I'm careful about what I do, fam. Do you know when I got on the network that I'm on, bro? I was at Pier 31. This is the first time this happened. It freaked me out. I told my girl about it. It freaked me out. Somebody came down there. Oh, what's up, Britt? Young Britt. Somebody ran. I was at the bar grabbing drinks for me and my girl. Somebody, oh, yo, CHICAGORilla. Whoa, hold on, wait a minute. Now they know me by another name in the city. In Atlanta, they know me by CHICAGORilla. Some people do. But in the city, they know me by my government. And I wasn't expecting that. So I knew they must have knew me from online. And I didn't know what type of greeting that was. They said, CHICAGORilla. What? Oh, yo, you be on. And he had to say it that loud because the music was playing. So you just be on guard, like, what fam saying?
Yeah.
What you talking about, right?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
What he wound up saying was like, man, hey, I rock with you. You doing your thing. You speaking for a lot of blue collar people. Keep doing your thing, so on and so forth. And I've gotten a couple of those in the city. And so it would be stupid of me to say all this rah, 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 and then you ain't gonna see me. Move like that, fam. We can't move like that because it's all fun and games until you in that person's city and they see you. Then what? Right? It's gonna be hugs and love, or it's gonna be Mike Tyson knockout. Which one is gonna be? Right. So that's why I say that
whatever Brittany be.
Listen, one thing I teach my boys, I've taught them this since they were babies, and they can recite it word for word to you to this day. Integrity is doing what's right because it's right. Then you do it right, even when nobody is looking. Integrity is doing what's right because it's right. Then you do it right, even when nobody else is looking. And a lot of you little niggas lack integrity. You lack character, you lack honor, and you lack integrity. And you live in to die. You live in to die for no other reason than somebody could put your face on a t-shirt. But guess what happens after the funeral? They don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
They just did a GoFundMe. They barely raised enough money on the GoFundMe to pay for your funeral. They tricked you out your spot because we needed you here. We needed you here. We needed your energy. We needed your ideas. We needed your strength. We needed you in our community, and you out here doing dumb shit for likes and clicks. Motherfuckers.
And I also just want to. I'm glad that you touched on a lot of different things, and I definitely want to get to the other question. I also want to just allow people to understand that, there's a difference between being a professional, and because to me, Chris Rock is a professional. You know what I mean? Just like I watched the roast for Ellen, and she was talking about some crazy stuff. I was like, God dang, you know what I mean? Like she was talking about people's genders and family and all type of stuff. So I want people to understand, like, those people are professionals. When they get up there, they do their thing on the Oscars or whatever. They professionals. But the trolling thing, y'all not professionals, man. Like, there's no etiquette. There's no type of like we're not prompted to see what you're about to say. Like, none of that is happening. Like, there's no type of there's no type of community where we understand, like, okay, so and so gonna get up here, he gonna say this, blah blah blah. Like, y'all taking cheap shots and then y'all hide behind the screen. And then the thing that makes it bad is the fact that, like, when what I mean, for us who are trying to keep it business wise, we know we can't step but so far with you, and you know that you're not going to step but so far with us either. You know what I mean? You basically one of them kids that's like you throwing eggs, off the bridge until that one car pull over, and now you want to run. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would y'all throw eggs in the first place? You should have never threw the eggs. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really the issue, man. Like, I think, stop putting things out there and stop putting certain energies out there if you're not willing to deal with the consequences. Because most of y'all are not willing to deal with the consequences. You're just not. You know what I mean? That's just being honest about it. You know what I
And we
mean?
got a
So,
question what we find entertaining too, because let me tell you
mm,
something. I've been on phone calls with some of these sisters where people
mm-hmm,
are trolling them and saying some of the most heinous things. And these sisters are impacted. That's why I'm adamant about, like, for me, I get it. People could just turn off their computer or they could just log off, or you're right. You 1000% right. They could. But just because you say something, it doesn't mean that it's not having a serious impact or consequence on the people that you aiming at against. And let me tell you
mm,
this, even from a scriptural standpoint, there's no word that you put out there that's not going to come back to you void. It might not show up in the way that you think it should show up, or the way that I think it should show up, but other people call it karma. Some people call it seed time and harvest, right? What you put out there gonna come back. And when it hit your ass, you ain't gonna even know where it came from. You're gonna be on some sorry Charlie talking about some why this happened to me. I ain't even do nothing. No, you forgot when you said this about this person when they was down and out and they was trying to be open and vulnerable. Here's the truth of the matter, Best. For some of
mm-hmm,
us in this space, we actually do think we doing good work. I think I'm doing good work.
mm.
I don't get up here and just jaw jack and slack and talk reckless and do all this other stuff, man. I really do try and add value. I have met some really dope people in this space that I really do kick it with in real life, have conversations with, right? When I was on the phone with one brother that I met in this space when I was going to pick up a copy of my marriage certificate.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, the dude was on because he heard the conversation as I was going into the office. When I tell you the dude heard me asking, like I was paying for the certificate and all this, that man, that dude was more happy than I was. Why?
Mm.
It gave him hope. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yes,
It
sir.
gave him hope. Ain't somebody I knew since I was a child or somebody that's in Chicago that I kick it with. This dude all the way in B-more. And we chopping regularly. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so there are people like even for the work that y'all do, man. Y'all having honest conversations. One of the reasons why I rock with JR the way that I do. I do believe in the work that JR is doing. He's trying to have honest conversations, regardless of it being Royal Rumble on Thursdays, man. It's a hey, and let me tell y'all this: for cats that think it's scripted, it ain't. Man, we might get the topic
Nah, it's not.
before. Ain't nothing scripted. What you see, people, you see me and Anton get into it, or you see me and Elijah get into it, that's a real conversation. Behind the scenes, I may hit them up and say, "Hey, man, I misunderstood you. I apologize," or whatever. Or, "Hey, man, I really felt you was out of pocket when you said." We may have those conversations, but man, for the most part, ain't nothing scripted. He's a
Now,
real.
really,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
you've answered. No, you good, family. You good. You've answered like all of our
A
questions
plethora.
without you even knowing. Yeah, without even knowing,
Yeah.
you like answer all our questions. So
Man,
Hey,
with
look, you
that,
made my job easier. You
no,
know?
yeah,
I
word,
apologize.
word.
So I
No, you
guess
good. You good. No, you good,
I was
family.
jacking
I
and
just
slacking the whole time. Then that's what I was doing.
no, you
No,
good. You
no.
good. You good. You good.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick. Before I drop the link in the chat, I just want to say real quick. Like I think that I think at this point, like we are trying, especially over here on our side, we are trying to do good work, but it's hard because people don't appreciate it, and what I mean. There are people that do, and we appreciate them. You know what I mean? Shout out to the rookie. What's going on, Marcus?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There are people that do, but I think at this point, I just try to bring positivity, bring love, bring laughter, and whoever rocks with that, you rock with it. If you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? And I just try to. That's what I try to bring to the table, man. At this point,
Hey,
because
Bess,
yeah,
let me ask you this.
yes,
In
sir.
1974, 1974, what do you think hip hop was worth?
Not much, bro.
Zero. Or
Hmm.
whatever the cost of the ticket was to get into that first party at Sedgwick and 1520 Sedgwick, right? In the Bronx with Cool
Yes,
Herc.
sir. Bronx River. What's good,
Yep.
y'all?
What do you think the value of hip hop is today in 2022?
Probably trillions, brother.
Blue
Right.
Christmas cake.
So
Blue Christmas cake.
the thing of it is, and what I'm saying for you, you said it, content is king, right? So you just keep putting out the content. You just, if you, man, I encourage everybody, go watch Genius. Go watch that documentary on Kanye. It's a 3-part documentary on Netflix. Shows you his beginning, middle, and it shows you his current state now. His beginning was meager, right? Didn't have much value at first. He had to convince Rockefeller of his value before they signed him, but he had to convince him of his value before they put money into him. And so when I say y'all doing the work, y'all having the honest conversation, and at the end of the day, when a lot of these other channels will fall by the wayside because y'all doing good work and y'all standing for something and standing on something, y'all will still be here. All these other Tekashi 6ix9ine ass channels, they'll fall by the wayside. Like straight up, man. We just got to start calling it what it is. And to the audience, man, y'all got to start challenging what y'all find entertaining. I don't know how old y'all are, but do y'all remember Faces of Death? Oh, y'all don't. Damn, I'm telling my age. Faces of Death was a series. It was banned in the US. It's probably still banned. It was a series that I used to watch on VHS cassette. Yes. And it was how can I say it? It was you being able, it was a collection of deletions. Self deletions, human on human deletions, and people found that entertaining. Entertaining. And so my point being is that when we're watching that type of material, we gotta as an audience, we gotta reevaluate what we find entertaining. My girl, she likes to watch the some content creators on YouTube that deal with a lot of gossip. And I'm like, I challenge y'all on that a lot. Some of these TV shows, I challenge audience. Y'all have to, when people are doing real content, one of the number one gripes or grievances that people have is that, man, when I do the real stuff, man, don't nobody pay attention, man. I take time, I invest, I research, I do this, I do that, and then I don't get the views. But if I talk about something stupid, yeah, thank you, Ty. Thank you. Luck.
Lucky Marie.
Shout out to Luck. That's my country cousin. Yes, yep. The thing of it is, as an audience, man, we got to reevaluate what we find entertaining, because people that do real conversations or real work and create real valuable content will overlook that. But then when they go talk about something stupid, somebody just slapped their baby mama or something, we talking about that for weeks on end, and the likes of views be in the hundreds of thousands, man. We got to reevaluate that. We got to reevaluate that. So I'm gonna chill with y'all for if y'all finna take calls, I'm gonna do another 20 minutes if that's cool with y'all.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay. All right.
And let me do this real quick. Okay, so everybody, right? If you want to, feel free to join into the live stream. Of course, as always, be respectful to CHICAGORilla, because he is our guest. And also continue to get the likes up, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. So I got it pinned to join the stream. Anyone is welcome. Oh, I forgot to put on Switch as well. Hold on for a second.
It's on there. It's on there, bro.
Hey, man, let him come
Ring
up
a ding ding.
I'm up for that one.
Gotta bring in, you know what I mean? My young bro, little bro, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of love for him, man. You know what I mean? Gotta bring in the little bro, man. Jay Tekashi. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's
How
up?
you doing, brothers?
Konnichiwa, my brother.
Konnichiwa, Kyodai. That means hello, brothers, in Japanese.
Are you in Japan?
No, sir, I'm not. If I was, bro, I'd come back and I'd fix that whole community and give them some good knowledge. Please believe. I actually got some cats in Japan right now that I talk to, and they're trying to get me over there. But no, but all in all, shout out to you preaching all night. You 84, you M3. I really love hearing these conversations and hearing my brothers up here just speaking some truth that needs to be told, bro. Like, really, dead serious. One of the reasons why I rock with Rilla so much on the Lapeef show is because of his knowledge, his mind, and his vitality. A lot of people see see, I know people rock with Anton. Anton ain't a bad dude. He's cool and all, but I'm talking about where I tend to rock with cats who are similar in my hood or where I was from. Rilla is one of those cats. He's like that guy on the corner that would tell me, "Yo, bro, little bro, you shouldn't be doing this, young blood. You can't be doing this crap." I had one of those. So the stuff that you're saying is inspirational and it's some truth, not some online fake beef to get views and all this nonsense. Like you actually come in here with an actual sense of right. I would say a sense of righteousness and a sense of like just experience and knowledge. And you're not just, and like I said, you're not just here giving propaganda like nonsense of what everybody else is doing. And I really appreciate you doing that.
Now, Jay, hold on, bro. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I got to bring in my other guest, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He always has some. He always has different convos, but he always has some real convo. We don't always agree on sports, but it's all good. You know I love him, man. He's still a brody, man. You know, real convo sports. With Tommy B. Tommy B, what's good, baby?
Oh, town business.
The Lakers.
It's all good, man.
Oh man, that slipped on the screen. My bad, player.
That's cool, man. I'll sit with my 4 championships. I'm chilling.
What's happening, Rilla?
Man, what's up with you, my guy?
What's up with you, Jay? What's happening, M3?
How you going, Tommy B, man?
Good to see you. Ain't nothing, man. Just listen y'all chop it up, man. You definitely one of the ones that kind of keep me in this space, man. I'll be having to take breaks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because man, I mean, a lot of what you said is real. You know what I'm saying? Between like the trolls and just, you know, even what you said about Will, man. You know, that was, I really had to take a break on that, man, because everybody and their mama had an episode about that, and I was just like, it was so overblown. But what you said was real, and it's kind of what I kind of talk to folks about is, oh, what's up, Princess?
Hey, Princess K.
You know, you could have, you know, whatever you feel about it, but at the end of the day, he was face to face with that man, and he handled up. And most people know it's a lot of y'all that wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. It's a lot of y'all that be behind these keyboards, barely key. I was saying that the whole week. I'm like, you know, you get the pressure that Will is under, and you got cats on YouTube that can handle this little pressure at the end. You know what I'm saying? This man got the pressure of the world, not the United States, the world on him. You know, has 99.9% represented our community with grace, been a perfect example, a role model, etc., etc. And he slipped up one time, and the whole community couldn't wait to jump on his helmet. That's true. The same time, you got cats on here with, you know, 2,000 YouTube followers, and they can't handle a little bit of pressure that he get from that. You know what I'm saying? So whether you agree with it or not or whatever, you know, and even on the flip side with Chris Rock, you know, let that have been Suge in the front row. I bet you that joke wouldn't slip. Nobody look at it from that way, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say, oh, he a comedian, but them comedians know who. We done all been in comedian comedy shows, and they'll even joke about how, oh, I won't joke about that brother because he'll woo, 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 woo. So don't get it twisted that the other way around, it wasn't thought about who he was cracking that joke on and if it was safe or not. He just thought it was safe. And that night, Will had time. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
It's even more apparent that's why I feel like Will should have just brought him to the back, Tommy B.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying that he was right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is he handled up. Most dudes, if they felt the way, wouldn't have handled up. But if you hear them on these shows, they rah-rah this and rah-rah that. You know, and I explain to people that like I drive trucks, you know what I'm saying? And I've gotten out of this. But when I first started, you know, I had a little bit of attitude, motherfucker cut me off, pull over, yada, yada, yada. I'm 6'4", bro. When I hop out of that truck, people change their mind real fast. And I'm not saying that because I'm the toughest this and that. I'm just telling you from my experience, when I took them steps down off that truck to see what's happening with somebody, a lot of minds got to change it. I ain't had one person that was like, oh, they was with it. You feel me? They see me hop out the truck, they hop right back in their car and they keep it pushing. So, I mean, I just know society as a whole, you know, most of them ain't with confrontations and stuff like that. Like they like to, you know what I'm saying, make it seem they is, you know.
This point, Tommy B, I look at YouTube like I look at like I look at like Netflix or something like that. Like I look at like everybody on it like actors, like for real. Like
absolutely.
Until they really prove that they really credible, like I can't really take them seriously. You feel what I'm saying? I think with the I think with the whole will thing, I just think, and as we see, man, anytime we just do we do one
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
one. They just they just dump the whole garbage
Yeah.
pile on us, man. And we
As
seen
Capitalize
it.
if
off of it too.
as
We
if
seen it
Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson wasn't acting in a complete fool for
exactly.
years.
A
For
fool.
years.
Years. Known drug addicts. Rolling
Period.
Stones, known drug addicts. And y'all letting them tour nationwide, worldwide. But we can't. I mean, we know what it is, man. We got to play by different rules, man. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's always been that way since we've been here, bro. But I feel you. A lot of people don't want to do things real time. A lot of people don't even want to have conversations real time, like how Rilla was talking about how like he hits people in the back. He
Yeah.
wants to have real conversations real time. A lot of people don't want to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's also
But I mean,
huge
it really coming from a different place, so it's different.
yeah.
Like a lot of these people
Yeah.
aren't dealing with, like, even when I talk a lot of people don't understand it. Like, um, we had the situation in Sacramento that I'm sure most people know about. Like, I'm super tapped into that. Like, that's a real, and that's what a lot of people understand is when you dealing with people like me or Real or even some of the other people in the space, that stuff that you see on TV, that shit that affects my life, really. Like the
Word.
club that Sacramento shit happened at, my little brother's birthday is tomorrow. We was literally having a party at that club this Friday. He actually was out there working that night when it happened and was out there ducking those same bullies. We know people on both sides. I ain't gonna get into the politics, but you feel me? Like super tapped into that. You know what I'm saying? My daughter stay in the neighborhood of the niggas that started the shit up. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
like it's a different perspective when we speak. So like I tell folks, like
Salute
even
Lagos,
when I
yeah.
first came in here and I was a little hot, and I used to tell people like, just understand, I ain't gonna never, you know what I'm saying, speak to somebody like I can't take an L. But just whatever you say
Mm.
to me, I promise I'll make you live that shit. And what a lot of these cats don't understand
They do not
is you
understand that.
don't get
Say
what
that
that
again,
means.
Tommy.
Thank you.
Say that part
Preach.
again because they don't think fat meat greasy, bro.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's you know what I'm saying? Like when you dealing with somebody, you can make all that rah-rah, but then when you have somebody in your face that's gonna make you live it, you got some decisions to make. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these motherfuckers, they got shit to lose and this, that, and the other, or they just cowards. And it's like I said, I'm not telling you that I'm not gonna, you might beat my ass, but I'm gonna make you prove that shit.
That's the part that I'm talking about. See, this
Thank
this
you.
this is the real thing. When you dealing with somebody that ain't afraid to catch an ass whoop. See, a lot of you niggas, a lot of y'all niggas quick to grab your guns and your dick beaters ain't good. Your dick beaters ain't good.
Yeah.
You don't need to do all this. Now I'm talking to the gentlemen. Ladies, excuse us for a second. But the gentlemen that do all this shit,
Yeah.
see, that's why I say I done seen quote unquote alphas. I done seen they ass get stomped out by a beta. So I don't do all that goofy shit. Anybody could catch it.
I'm you know,
Your
I'm gonna tell you
ass
something,
too.
Rilla. And I didn't tell a lot of these cats, you know, because this little snitching thing that came up. I didn't tell people, like, especially ones that ain't in the street that do this. Understand that cat might still be a snitch, but he was still a gangster before he was a snitch, and that shit don't get erased. So your square ass going around talking about you a snitch, don't think that he won't knock your shit off. We got a partner in the hood that we literally joke about that say that nigga shoot you and snitch on you in the same at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the problem is they live in this online world or whatever, and they, you know what I'm saying, like they think they safe. You know, they think everybody is like them, always just trolling, always just playing. And like I had a conversation with a couple of these guys. I told them, you know, when I was younger, you know, shit, probably like 5-6 years ago, man, I caught planes before. I was in Philadelphia airport waiting for a nigga. As stupid as it was, I was in Philadelphia waiting for a nigga because he ran up off the mouth and all right, cool. We gonna see about that. You know what I'm saying? And even shit closer to here was a cat out here that was, I think he was like 30 minutes away and didn't know he was that close. You know what I'm saying? And he on his Facebook and he tagging everywhere he go. I'm like, nigga, I know where your gym at. I know where your job at. I know where the crib at. I know where you go grocery. Like you tagging all of this stuff. You feel me? Like you out there.
Tommy, these DJ Vlad niggas don't even understand. You got a digital footprint. You can put your whole life online.
Yeah.
hold on yourself.
Yeah.
But this is what I want people to understand, because I don't want them one of these little niggas to miss what you said, bro.
Man.
You said, if I heard you correct, I tasted my own blood in my mouth.
Yeah.
So I'm scared of what that tastes like.
Yeah.
A lot of you niggas ain't had your face. I didn't have.
Yeah.
Listen, fam, I didn't as a neutron. See, I don't get off on the gang banging. I don't have to claim GD, BD, VL, Stone, MCs, folk on I don't have to do none of that. Why?
Yeah.
Because a neutron was the toughest life to live in Chicago.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you had to walk through hoods and they ain't know who you was.
Yep.
It's on your ass.
Yeah.
And you ain't have no set you could run back to.
Yeah.
So I done tasted my blood in my mouth plenty of times.
Yeah.
Which is why when y'all get on here talking that rah-rah, I'm like, you know, hey, that trolling cool, but you know, I mean, I hear you. In real life, you wouldn't bust a grape with a sledgehammer.
Yeah. Well,
relax.
The problem with
enjoy our time together. Let's be cool, man. Relax with all that.
I think Haverstraw Media said it best here, y'all.
Yeah.
I think it says when you advertise death, sooner or later somebody gonna want to buy what you're selling.
Yeah,
and that's true. Like,
what's the name said?
They better ask Daniel Hernandez if niggas ain't on his ass right now trying to find his location.
Jay Prince say a little difference. Jay Prince say if you keep campaigning, one day you're gonna get elected.
Shout out to Jay Prince, man.
But no,
that underrated, man. I hate it.
Yeah, my older brother, man, I fought him fresh out of Quentin. He was fresh out of San Quentin. He tore my ass up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like you said, I mean,
yeah,
if you didn't took it, I think the problem with a lot of these cats is, you know, they think one way. Even if the ones that think that they will do something, you know, they only think from the point of view of what they will do, but they don't understand that fists come back. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I try to explain them up. But like, I ain't never gonna tell you what, you know, I'm gonna beat you. Nah, I'm gonna just tell you, I'm gonna make you live what you say. Period. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that ends in me with an L, that ends in me with an L. But I'm gonna make you live that shit, bro. You don't just get to freely just yeah. You feel me? And that be it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of take my breaks, and that's why I tell cats, like, you'll never see me on here arguing with cats and stuff like that. Just because it's a space I'm not trying to be in, and I ain't trying to go back to certain shit that, you know what I'm saying, how I used to act or whatever. So it ain't even worth it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, most of the people out here that you would even meet up with, it ain't even worth it. You feel me? They ain't really trying to, you know what I'm saying, go down that path anyway. But, you know, like I said though, it's refreshing, you know what I'm saying, listening to you though, and on some of these shows, and listening to somebody that, you know, that sound like they from the soil, you feel me, and in that kind of point of view, because it's a lot of people in there, they kind of they boast their life as if everything's perfect and stuff. That's why I kind of laugh. I say, damn, everybody on this motherfucker makes 6 figures. Everybody on this motherfucker marriage is super perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I even push back on even the whole, you know what I'm saying, kids out of wedlock thing. And I had a conversation with people and I said, you know, what if you do the statistics of people who got kids out of wedlock, but they got a solid situation? You know what I'm saying? BM and BD ain't going at each other. You feel me? Now let's compare that to somebody that's in a bad marriage, and then you tell me how them kids come out. Because the only thing y'all sell me is that pretty much if you got a kid out of wedlock, this damn near a lost cause. And if you get married, that, you know, they gonna be great. And I'm like, I push back against that because, you know what I'm saying, most people know, you know, my kids is with me a lot. You know what I'm saying? We was down there 50-50 with it. You feel me? So I can't look at you can't put my situation in the same box as you put these cats who, you know what I'm saying, blood still all up in the bushes trying to see what she doing, or still trying to sneak over and smash, or, you know, all the little stupid stuff that we know that goes on in those situations. You can't put me in that situation because mine ain't that. You feel me? Like, we all Gucci, ain't no games being played. You feel me? I ain't got to fight to see my kids. I ain't on no child support, none of that stuff. Everything is good. So my kids ain't sitting there watching this drama that a lot of people in this situation do. So when they had these conversations and they talk about the wedlock thing, I see where they coming from, because I'm not trying to push you know, or push people to go that route, because that, you know, it is the harder route, but it ain't the end all be all. And that, you know, that'd be my thing. And I think so many people in here try to make they shit look so perfect that they then make it seem like if you end up in a situation like that, it's a wrap. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah, every situation is different, as I was saying. Everybody's situation is different.
It is.
Everybody's mindset is different, and you gotta do what's best for you. And you know, like you said, for your kids, you gotta do what's best for your kids. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's key.
Yeah, and I respect those cats that got all this stuff together. I know plenty of cats that's from my from my blog that are not married, but they with their girl to this day.
Yeah.
And the kids have turned out perfect, dude. Like I even visited them a few weeks ago, and I'm like, yo, they doing great. So that stuff don't add up to me with some of the stuff they be saying. They make it seem as if it's like a vast majority. I'm like, yo, you gotta stop it with that nonsense, man. That ain't my reality I'm seeing right now. I've seen the upper and I've seen the lower. So clearly it ain't that big of a number. But they try, but they like hanging on this thing as if it's like, yo, this is so elite. It's so pure. It's so right. And I'm like, stop. It's not. Because it's really not. And half y'all saying it just so y'all can be on the bandwagon train. But if y'all ran into any of these other cats in the street, they knock your feet, knock you right off your feet 2 ways from Sunday. If you're trying to talk bad about their family or bad about them, please believe I ran into those cats.
To be honest, they wouldn't even have to, because it'll be, oh, bro, it was just this, oh, bro.
It'd be, oh, bro, that was just this, yeah.
I was just trolling, man. That playing.
Mark my words.
I'm not playing.
It's gonna be a lot of that shit in Houston. I promise you that. Oh, bro, you took that serious.
Yeah, man, they on some other stuff, man. They play too much.
Wait, hold on for a minute, Jay. What you gonna say, Chicago?
Hey, Houston better be smooth as a baby powder. Nothing moving.
What's Houston? I'm sorry. What's Houston?
No, they having the get together in Houston.
The meetup. Okay.
Let me, and because I'm not here to promote anything. If y'all rocking with me, if y'all like what I'm putting down, send the Cash App, send the super chats, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this channel. That's what type of time I'm on, right? But let me tell y'all, anybody that had a problem with what I said, anybody that want to chop up what I said and take it personal, or anybody that think they got smoke for me, I'm gonna tell you right now. I know Tommy B said he's 6'4". I'll tell you right now, I'm a little nigga. I'm 5'6", 5'7", right? Tell you something. I had a little man complex all my life. Do not fuck with me on that level. And we gonna be in Texas.
Yep, you already know what it is.
And we gonna be in Texas. Do not play with me or nobody that I'm fucking with in Texas. Keep it smooth, keep it pimping, keep it playing. It should be a great weekend. I don't anticipate nothing. I don't even anticipate.
Ain't nobody going out there
all hugs and smiles.
That's all it's gonna be. That's all it's gonna
be. Shaking hands and kissing babies, man.
That shit gonna be the most peaceful get together ever. I promise.
Shaking hands.
But you know what? It is like that's part of the reason why I tell people that you got to chill this, because you don't know who know who. Like I'm tapped in Texas. I used to be in Houston a lot. Like even like I hollered at Ken, because where he from, I know some people from over there. You feel me? Like you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, matter of fact, with Chicago, I got a partner in Chicago, and me and this other cat was going at it. That I was in the Navy with it. He was rah. He dropping addresses. I him in the inbox. I'm like, bro, you ain't like that. You got kids and shit, and you just dropped the address. Bro, do you know I can make a phone call and somebody knock on your door, bro? Like, how stupid is that? Pride? You know what I'm saying? Because when I went to the military, I done got tapped in with so many places. I'm tapped in with New York, all through the South, Louisiana, Texas, Florida. Like, I'm tapped in. Chicago, even with Minneapolis. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you running all of this, but you don't even know who I know. You know what I'm saying? So you can fuck around, drop that address, and be wondering who knocking at your door. I ain't nowhere around you. So it's just like, but when you know shit like that, then you respect shit like that. And that's why I won't be on none of these platforms going off, because the same way people don't know who I'm tapped in with, I don't know who they tapped in with.
And that's not worth it. Everybody the same level of respect.
Absolutely.
That's why you do that.
Yeah.
That's why you
because I done got on here M3 from the crib. You feel me? E Black from the crib. Like it's so if I got on here talking reckless.
Okay.
You feel me? They could have boop, and next I'm looking at motherfucker. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you know what I'm saying? You don't know who you tapping in with, man.
Yeah, you don't. And that's something that needs to be remembered. what my man Rilla just said, what my man Tommy B just said, like you don't mess with cats like these. You just don't. And it needs to be put into your freaking brain. So when they put the fear of God come in your ass, you'll shut the hell up. Please.
Bro, the crazy part about it, bro, if the younger me see me now, bro, I'd be a sucker, bro. The younger me see me now, bro, you a sucker, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the craziest part about it, bro. I tell you, like, if I wouldn't even be able to be in these spaces when I was younger, bro, because I'd be so motherfucking disrespectful. Like, it, you know, that's what come with growing and stuff and seeing shit, though, and understanding shit, so.
Yeah, man, little me was crazy, bro. I hated the young. I couldn't even be conversation with younger me, man. I get in fights with anybody. I didn't care. I was like, oh Christ. If he was taller than me, I'd still go on him. I don't care. Shit, my mom be like, yo, did you beat that motherfucker's ass? I'm like, nah, not that day. But I got some bite marks all over his face, so you can see that.
When I tell you I got out the military about the skin of my teeth, bro.
So Rilla, I understand, brother. I was going short too, and I didn't take that laying down. I was crazy.
I bit the shit out of him.
I did, brother. I got
what? Damn. All right, hold on, everybody. Yo. Really, I want to make sure I'm respecting your time, though. So, yeah, as fun as this conversation is going, but I want to make sure you good.
No. I gotta get ready to bounce, man. You know I'm married now, so I'm on her time. But I do appreciate. I do appreciate these opportunities. I don't take it for granted, man. I appreciate the opportunity to come up here and just have a conversation and share a little bit more of my story. Hopefully, people understand me a little bit better, and if not, that's cool too.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not up here. I ain't here to sell nothing. Like I said, man, if you rock with me, or if you appreciate anything that I said tonight, send a contribution to the Cash App. It's not scrolling, but send the Cash App, send some super chats in. Yeah, send all that in. Send the PayPals. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the content. And man, young bloods. Let me say this to my young bloods, man, because I'm always thinking about the future. You know, I know it's a lot of conversation with the older heads, and I know a lot of stuff we dropped the ball on. I'm not trying to take y'all shine, man. We need y'all, right? And so when you hear me talking, I'm just reminding you of your greatest self, right? And hopefully I stir a little bit in you to help you find your purpose, or if you haven't found your purpose, remind you. I mean, if you haven't found it, hopefully that agitates you to seek it out, right? Then once you get in there, lock in and stay focused, man. A lot of what we see in terms of what we think is entertaining or we think is cute and cool to do, it's just not the wave, man. So again, hopefully you heard something from me tonight that makes you think a little bit. If you need a good book to read, start here.
The Alchemist. Okay.
Start here. Or read The Four Agreements, or read Richest Man in Babylon. All those are fairly short reads that'll get you started on your path to greatness. All right. But for my young bloods, especially young Black men, I got the utmost respect for you. I got so much love for you. I'm so invested in you. I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm rooting for you. Right. Because your time is now. Right. My time is past. I already had my fun in the sun. Tommy B probably had his fun in the sun too. That's why he ain't scrapping like that no more, right? So I'm retired from all that fighting and all that. I'm too old to be taking lickings and all that other stuff, right? But this is y'all time. And so again, if you're rocking with anything I said, or if I offended you in any way, hit me on the back chat, man. I'm an easy person to get in touch with. It's easy to find CHICAGORilla on Instagram. That's one of the best ways to get at me, and we can have that conversation in real time. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me up here. I definitely have to go tend to my wife because we both sick.
And for real, CHICAGORilla, man, we definitely appreciate you for coming on to the platform, man. So thank you again, man. Salute to you. You and your wife take care, man, and have a good evening, bro.
Hey, M3, hey, let me say one more thing too for y'all, man. Best, man, thank you, bro. I know Best been trying to get this thing together, and he been on my head for a minute. He been consistent. He been patient. So again, I don't take this for granted, man. Thank y'all for having me up here, allowing me to share a little bit more of my story. Thank y'all for this platform And thank y'all for having that reputation again. I've said your reputation precedes y'all, where y'all not caught up in all the whoop-de-woo and the hoopla. Y'all doing good work and just having honest conversations over here, man. That's what I hear about y'all every time in these streets, bro. So thank y'all for having me up. I really do appreciate it.
Man,
Hey,
appreciate
no doubt.
you, man. Thank you so much for, gracing us with your presence, man. Dropping your knowledge, dropping your love, dropping your inspiration to everyone that's out there on the YouTube streets, man. Definitely are being a great example of what a content creator should be. And a lot of people need to follow that lead, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, want to thank everybody in the chat. You know what I mean? Want to thank everybody for coming up here. Tommy B, thanks for coming through. J Takashi, salute to you coming through.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Really, as always, man, thank you for allowing us to have this live talk with you. M3, take it away, brother.
All right, man. Well, anyways, thank you everybody for tuning into Knowledge and Relationships. Man, Rilla's like presence was definitely like appreciated. And so with that being said, I just want to wish everyone, man, a happy good night, man. In the meantime, I'm about to go ahead and just go get some rest. So I get ready for work. But thank you again, Rilla, for like joining the platform and just having a natural conversation. Natural conversations are way better than some of these like scripted lines or like cues or whatever. So, Rilla is definitely the real, man, and I definitely respect you for that. So, that being said, everybody have a good night. Mr. Best of the World, you have a good night as well too. And the people like in the chat, take care, everyone. Okay. Peace.
DJ.